Girl, you need to get out.
Have you ever wandered lonely through the woods, and everything that feels just as it should? You're part of a life there.
Hello everyone, I'm Erin Roca with Girl You Need to Get Out. I'm here at Artesano, the art shop downtown for Walton Beach. I'm here with the owner. Can you tell us your name and tell us about your business?
Hi, I'm Julie. I own Artesano Boutique now. The store was here for 5 years, owned by Nikki Lyons, and she had her second baby, and she decided that she was going to close, and I was very sad. So my husband says, why don't you buy the shop? So I took it over, and we're about 9 months in right now. Just redecorated. She had about 20 plus artists in here, and I've expanded it now to 55.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, everything looks great in here. I keep getting distracted by different things.
Yes. Yeah. It's hard for me to believe. I love all the artists. I love the positive energy of them, and I enjoy playing with all the things, and that's what my husband says. That's why I have the store, is to decorate with their things.
So in addition to owning the business, you also do your own art. Can you tell me about that?
That's how I got started here. I was over in England for a few years. I learned how to paint with Annie Sloan. I liked the whole idea of picking up some old frames that are discarded or inexpensive. I love the wood. And then I thought, my mom passed away a couple of years ago, and she left me with boxes of shells that she was always going to do something with. And I decided, well, what could I do with the painting, with her shells? And this is what I came up with. This is printed on old dictionary paper. I make sure that there is a word on the dictionary paper that has to do with the print itself. Then, like I said, I paint the old frames, decorate with my mom's shells, and even some of her beads. She decided she was going to take up beading at 80. I said, no, Mom, no, but I'd let her buy them. She had fun. And this is what I came up with.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great example of upcycling.
Yes, very good. And people love mermaids.
Who doesn't?
They like, little inspiration, and again, like I said, with the word on it, sometimes you have to find it, or sometimes it's right there.
I love that. So we can find Artesano on social media?
Yes, you can. Just under Artesano Boutique, both Facebook and Instagram. Hope to expand that into Twitter and etc.
Yeah.
I'm just getting in on that social media thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. Girl, you need to get out and check out Artesano, and just even walk around. Even if you don't have any intention of buying something, I know it might happen, but there's lots of great stuff around here, stuff that you wouldn't expect. So I hope to see you guys soon, and we'll be talking about the giveaways too in a little bit. This is one of the artists here, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Mercedes Rogers with the Full Circle Gallery. I'm an artist and potter.
You're a potter, so tell us about your pottery.
My pottery, it's predominantly functional, but I do some sculptural work too, and a lot of it revolves around mermaids and anything you can drink coffee or tea out of. I love mugs. So I
Coffee,
make a lot
tea,
of mugs.
mermaids. I love all those things.
Exactly.
Awesome. Can we see some of your work?
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few of the pieces are back here, and then here's one of the newer pieces that I made. Just to make, a little bit bigger, get a little bit more coffee.
Yeah, I love that. Functional and practical.
Yeah.
I love it. Art that's functional. Yes.
Yeah, I have a big display of all the mugs that I've created, and that I've collected at home, because it's like a little functional piece of artwork that you can really aesthetically enjoy, but then also you can,
Yeah, that's perfect. I love that. So where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Full Circle Gallery.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And we'll probably put links down there somewhere.
Yeah. And online too, my website, mercedesrogers.com.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So how did you get into pottery?
That's such a difficult question. I feel like people ask me a lot. I've always been digging up clay and working with it since I was really little. I lived in Belize in Central America for a while, and that was my first experience with getting to dig and fire clay. We knew a woman who had a wood firing kiln there, so I got to experience that. And then really ever since then, I've just been really interested with the idea of taking something that's so malleable and fluid, and then you put it through this process and you fire it and you make something that's so incredibly permanent and lasts forever. So, yeah. And when I started college, I definitely remember going to my first pottery class and being like, I want to make a mug. Like I have been like on this perfect mug mission for a long time. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So have you made the perfect mug yet?
Sometimes I feel like I have, but then I decide like I need to drink less, so I need to make a smaller mug, or I need to drink more, so I got to make a bigger mug.
So perfect is relative.
Yeah, to whatever's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing your work, and
Yeah.
y'all come down to Artesano and check it out. We love it.
If you've ever walked.
Hey everybody, it's Erin again with Girl You Need to Get Out, and I'm here at Artesano downtown Port Walton Beach with one of the jewelry artists, Charlotte. How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Good. Can you tell us about your art and your jewelry?
My name is Charlotte Muller. I'm a silversmith and jewelry designer. Originally from Colorado, I went to school at the Metropolitan State University of Denver, and I studied jewelry design and metalsmithing there. And then I lived in Albuquerque for a few years and really started pursuing doing metalwork as a budding career. So I've been really pushing forward with that over the last year, and now I've got a website and we'll be selling things down here. So it's very exciting.
Well, we're so glad that you're here. Tell us about some of your jewelry and your pieces.
Yeah, so everything that I do is in sterling silver, and I make everything from basic scratch metal. So everything starts out as sheet metal, and then I hand form and dome all of these pieces, and then I use liver of sulfur blackening patina, and that creates the dark color and kind of the depth to it. And each piece is really unique because everything is hammered and has its own little characteristics. So there's some rough edges on everything, and I get all of my materials from Rio Grande Jewelry Supply. So,
Very cool. Where do you get your inspiration from?
I just like to toy around with things. So I discovered metalsmithing kind of by chance. I went to art school and I wasn't really finding exactly what I wanted to do, so I took a semester off and did auto body and auto paint for about 3 months. And as much as I loved it, the garage setting was not really for me. So I went back to art school and I found metalsmithing, and everything was basically the same tools, just on a smaller scale, and you could do everything really precisely. And so I just love to play around with my materials and try new things. So.
Do you find that you learned anything in your auto body experience that you transferred into jewelry making?
Just the love of manipulating metal. I think that I did a lot of pulling out dents and stuff, which is really interesting. Like you can make metal do anything you want. So
Satisfying.
yeah, it's really satisfying to do.
Awesome. So can we find you on social media?
Yes, I am at Mixed Metal Arts on Instagram, and my website is charlottemuller.com.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. Hey everybody, I'm here with Lisa, one of the artists at Artesano. Lisa, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us about your art.
I started doing art before I ever started writing. I've done everything. I opened one of the first tattoo shops down here on the Strip 25 years ago. I've sculpted. I've done ornamental concrete. My original art that I did where I made money was oil paintings. I did beach scenes, and I actually sold them on the Strip when this was nothing but tourist trap. It was airbrush t-shirts and seashells, and that's everything. There were no restaurants, there were no nothing down here. It was strictly tourist, and I think we had a surf shop. About a year ago, when Nikki still owned the store, I started making jewelry out of, actually most of my stuff was originally made out of washers from the tools.
Wow.
You know, different type of
More
washers.
upcycling, I love it.
And yes, and then I started doing the sheet metal and working with different things. Again, I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Same.
I love anything to do to be creative. Sign me up. I've sculpted, I've done clay and pottery and ornamental concrete.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That kind of stuck out. What is that?
Okay, fountains, like yard ornaments,
Okay.
the big lions. I've done them from, actually years ago there was a dolphin, a big concrete dolphin that held a mailbox. I did that
Oh, cool.
and sculpted it with, started off with styrofoam and then made the molds for them out of latex rubber and fiberglass.
Wow.
It was a long process. It was a lot of work, and the concrete was just so heavy. And you know, the older you get, things don't work the way they used to. So now I'm painting. This is my newest.
Very cool. And what medium is this?
This is acrylics,
Acrylic, okay.
and then my big one.
I love it. I love the colors. It's very beachy.
Very beachy. And I went to we started redecorating our house and went out to Destin to some of the designers' places, and the big color is the sea foams and the teals and the beach colors are huge this year. That's the only colors I could find in any decorating, from the small stores to the big. But I just give me a hobby, give me a craft, and I want to do it.
I appreciate people that can do that. If they can see something, just a pile of paint or a pile of metal, and make something out of it. That's amazing to me, because I don't want to say I
Take
can't
something
do that,
ugly and make it as pretty as you can,
yeah,
right?
that's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I love it. So can we find you on social media?
I have a Girls Tool Facebook page, but I am awful at keeping up with it. So
We all have our opportunities.
So if you want to find me, you have to go through Julie.
Okay.
She takes all of my work in here. If I've done something, I bring it in and she displays it. She's amazing. This place is amazing. It's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, so come to Artesano if you want to see some of Lisa's work. And yeah, you want to say anything else?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you so much. And I think Lisa has a couple pieces in the giveaway too, so check it out.
Have you ever stared into a starry sky, lying on your back?
Kelsey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you tell us about your art?
I am, my media is primarily photography. I do all sorts of forms. I actually started doing concert photography over 6 years ago, and I've expanded into something called composite photography, which involves taking multiple photographs and combining them to create one specific image. So
Very
that's
cool. Let's
what
see
I-
some examples.
All right. So I brought a simplified one. I'm not sure if you
Aw.
can see it very well. This is my daughter Reagan, and I do not have her hanging from a branch. They would take her away from me. So what I do is I'll photograph, let's say, the branch with the blanket around it, and then I'll photograph this so I get the right spread, and then I'll photograph her, and I was holding her up, and if you met her in person, you'd realize that's a feat in itself. So I was holding her up with one hand, photographed about 3 separate images, and then I combined them to create one very specific image that I have in mind. So that's one example of like the kind of portrait stuff that I do. And then art-wise, I have 2 here. This one seems to be the most popular,
Ooh, yeah, I love that.
and it's probably the simplest one that I do. And I call these art boxes, but what they are wood mounts that I create an image, then I'll print it out myself, put it onto the wood mount that I stain and dye, and then I'll put a table resin over the top of it, and that's what gives it that really glossy look. So this is what I love to do the most.
And that's a photograph that you took.
Yep, these are photographs. This was a very cold day with a very awesome model who just does anything for me because everything we do together comes out really well. Speaking of this model, the other example I have, and probably one of my personal favorites, is this image here. This is the same model, and this is it's all photographs that I take. So I have to, if I want a whale in my image, I better photograph a toy whale, because I can't go to California and get underwater with those things to get that done. But this is multiple photographs. These are actually moons that actually it's the Earth that I photographed at the Naval Air Museum in Pensacola, and then just kind of turned it into a moon-like appearance. But this is probably about 8 different images put together to create this one particular scene. And,
I love the fantasy element too.
a lot of my inspiration comes from mythology, worldwide mythology. My characters are usually a very small part of the image. I want the environment to be just as important as the character is. And then my characters also have a feeling of independence and strength, something that I want to carry throughout my work. I don't really like the negative things that you end up seeing a lot of negative stuff through, because artwork is typically driven through pain and things that happen in your life, and it's a form of an expression, but I want to put things out there that are a little bit positive. So that's a lot where my work comes from.
You want us viewing it to feel uplifted.
Yes.
I definitely feel uplifted seeing that.
And this one's called Evelyn's Journey. This is actually, it was made for my grandmother. She was sick, and then she got better, and then something happened. She ended up passing before she got to see the finished piece. But she was a very strong and influential individual in my life, as well as my mother. So this is kind of this very personal piece for me. So,
Well, beautiful.
thank you.
Can we find you on social media?
You can, and my website is Ignite with Kelsey. Excuse me, Ignite by Kelsey, and Kelsey is with an I, KELSI.com. And then you just use that handle to find me on Facebook, Ignite by Kelsey, and also Instagram. And I refuse to use Twitter. I don't understand it. It just seems annoying, so I avoid that one.
No worries.
So
check out Kelsey's work, and you can come into Artesano and check it out.
Girl, you need to get out.